Hi, I'm Joe. I'm the accidental brewer, and this is my daughter.
Hi.
Piscella. Not hi. But anyway, so we're going to make some fruit punch mead. What is fruit punch mead? It is a mead that I made up. Technically, it's just a Melomel. It's a mead made with fruit and fruit juices. I'm using a grape juice base. Last time I put some blueberries and some grapes that I'd frozen into it, and that didn't quite work out as well as I wanted it to. But I also used lemons and limes. This time, instead of grapes, I'm going to put a little bit of orange zest in it and some orange juice, just from these tiny little Tangelo Oranges. And then we have some lemons and, this is a lemon, this is a lime. So we have some lemons and limes that we're going to put in it. And what we're going to do is also put in a little bit of ginger. We're going to make a 2-gallon batch this time, thus the bucket and not a carboy. And then we'll probably move it over into a carboy or maybe two after we've let it do its thing. We're also going to put some yeast holes in it, and then I have this container that has been sanitized, but I also put some allspice, some clove, and a stick of cinnamon in here. I've also pulled another trick. I think if I can get some flavor out of pepper, like whole clove pepper, or clove, it's got cloves in it, allspice, cinnamon, and then it's also some whole berry pepper. That might be good, so I'm going to put some of that in there. There's 3 of those, and that'll all sit at the bottom. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to cut up the ginger and zest the lemons and the limes. So the bucket, everything's already been sanitized and ready to go. So we're just going to go ahead and start with that process. And what I'm looking for with the zest of these is just to get the outer peel and not the pith. So trying to express some of those oils into this and get some of the little pieces of the lemon as I drop it down in here. They don't seem to be coming through. I might have to actually use a bigger grater. But I'm just trying to get a little bit of that zest, a little bit of that lemon oil, and a little bit of that lime oil down in here. And then we're going to put the juice from it in there. So hoping this will be a very citrusy mead. I was going to use some Florida orange peel honey, but I changed my mind because I want to use that for a coffee mill that we're doing. So instead, I'm going to use just some Amazon Happy Belly honey. It's supposed to be wildflower honey, so it says it's wildflower honey. Last time I used a raw unfiltered honey. This time I did not. I prefer to use raw unfiltered honey. This is just kind of what I had this time. So we're going to see how this turns out. This is a completely, totally experimental thing. So we're going to go through, do our thing, and then be back in a few minutes. Now, one problem that we may run into, and you may think, well, but can't the lemon juice and the lime juice make a highly acidic environment for the mead? And you could be right, but it didn't in my last one, so I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm hoping it won't. That's a bit of it. It poured some of it out. Didn't get all of it. Put this cap back on. All right. So I'm going to zest this. Get some orange zest down in here, along with the lemon and the lime. Ooh, that smells good. You smell that? That smells so good. I'm very excited about this, about the smell of this now from the point that we're doing it. And my zester may be a little bit too small for the thing that we're wanting to do. But this is how we're doing it, so I'm going to see if that, and I might put one of the lemons and one of the limes in here and one of the oranges that we juiced, just to give the, like, take the pith out and just leave that in there. We'll see how it ends up doing. But I am going to go ahead and pour just a tiny bit of water over this. I can't quite reach it. Thank you. Would you pour just a little bit of water over this, and let's see if we can get some of that off. Oh yeah, there it goes. Keep pouring it. All right, ooh, that's good. All right, so now that we've done that, you can go ahead and cut those open. We're going to use all of them. We've done enough zesting, I believe, so we're just going to set this back down here. And it doesn't want to let you cut it? Okay, well, try my method. There you go. It's cut. I'll move this out of your way. Oh, that just hurt. Didn't feel great. Yeah, like that. All right. I'm going to go ahead and pour this down here in the bottom. So there's the spices. And while she's cutting these up, I'm going to go ahead and pour the honey in, since I've got a little bit of liquid in here. I think I might add just a tiny bit more of the grape juice. So I'm trying to make this half grape juice and half water. So this is not quite a gallon of grape juice. Last time I used 64 ounces of grape juice, which ended up being about a little bit too much. It was a heck of an amount. But this time, we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. Now, why am I just pouring this in here? I know I'm going to use 2.5 pounds of honey per gallon. And I don't want to end up with too much, but I know this is 5 pounds. I've already measured it and everything. So it's 5 pounds of honey. Just going to go in. And so I'm going to put this in, and then I'm going to stir it up with my trusty spoon of stirring. We may go ahead and put in the lemon juice and everything, but we'll wait until after we get the honey in. It's the fun times. Something I found out today, if you do yard work and then you're using sanitizer, you're brewing later, make sure you wear gloves, because any little nick, cut, anything like that hurts a lot. Who would have known? All right. So now I know I'm going to use some of that water. So what I want to do, pour a little bit of that water in here. Just make sure probably good, so we can get some of the honey off the edge. All right, so set that over here. I'm gonna let you shake that up in a minute, but first we're gonna squeeze the lemon and lime juice over this. So yep, just squeeze it really good. So why am I doing this through this? This has a little strainer in the middle of it. It's a fine mesh micron strainer. And so it's keeping all the pulp and things that I don't want in there, seeds, stuff like that, from getting in there, especially the seeds, because the seeds add a little bit of bitterness that I don't want. So Hicella's just squeezing in the juice so that we can get some of that extra flavor in and get that fruit punchiness to it in there. And I'm going to help. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, probably not a good idea that I use this hand, because this is the one that I cut, right? Yeah, it's painful. It's stupid of me, really dumb. Was not my finest moment. Maybe I won't help then. Yeah. Hisella knew what was up. I didn't know what was up until after I did this. So yeah, I've got this thing right here in that little corner right there. And it's just impossible to keep juice off of it. As soon as it gets on it, I messed up. Messed up at that point, Hisella. Messed up. So we're going to get this stuff in. Now, one thing that I didn't mention before, everything that's on this table has been doused, sprayed, or something like that through the sanitizer. I even took these lemons and limes and I just dropped them in for a second, just to make sure that we weren't getting anything that they may have been on or anything like that in this. So, I mean, I guess there could be something inside of the lemon or the lime that could cause like a problem or something like that. But I mean, kind of doubt it. I don't know that I'd want to use this juice if there was an issue like that. So, more concerned with the. You just sprayed me. I'm more concerned with the outside and the bugs that may be on the outside. So, just trying to sanitize all that. Maybe get it like down inside there. You got me good like a couple times. But yeah, so back to what I'm saying. All this stuff was sanitized. Every piece of fruit, everything like that, ran through the sanitizer. My hands, I put them in the sanitizer liquid. Like they were all everything here was sanitized. The only thing that we have that wasn't sanitized is what was inside of these items that wasn't run through the sanitizer. So the juice wasn't sanitized, the honey, but those should already be sanitized items. You know, the juice was pasteurized through either chemical or heat or something like that. So I think we're right there toward, oh no, we got one more lemon. Okay, I got it. I got the lemon. Do you have like a burn? Mm-hmm. Well, why were we trying to avoid me suffering if you were going to suffer? We're not going to throw those away just yet. We're going to use one or two of them for in here. I zested one of these lemons, so I'm going to pull that one out. But I would like to get some of this has nutrients in it. It'll give off some nutrients. So I want to put some of these in here. It'll also give off flavor because the pulp will give off flavor. I don't really want the white stuff in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm trying to find the ones that I've already zested and pull those out. And then I'm going to take one whole lime, two whole oranges. That's not the one I zested. That is not the one I zested. And then one of the lemons that I didn't zest, put it down in here. And I have made a mistake. I realized this. I didn't stir up my honey first. In my excitement to get everything zested and done, the honey was left in here. So I'm going to stir that up real quick. Now get it kind of diluted into there's about a gallon of liquid in here at this point. And then we'll be back in a few seconds and we'll go on to the next thing, which will be pouring the rest of the honey in here. So why don't you shake that up real good for me? Doing the shaky song. Although that does add a bit of aeration. It's not done yet. Nowhere near. Look at it on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and pour the rest of this container up to about the half-gallon mark in here. So with all this stuff, it ends up being a little bit more, and I think that's about 64 fluid ounces. It's not going to be perfect. And then we're going to take this and we're going to pour some more in, just to bring it up to about the 2-gallon mark, because That's a lot of grape juice, and that's a lot of concentrated sugar. And we're going to probably have some of the stuff leak some sugars out. So, yeah, that seems about right. That's about where we want it to be. And it's all foamy and fizzy, but it smells wonderful, doesn't it? It smells like some delicious, delicious fruit punch. That's why I call it fruit punch mead. It smells like fruit punch. And the honey adds like a characteristic to it that's just, I wonder what would happen though if I did something like a bochet to this or something. That might be, so we're gonna try that one day. You don't know what a bochet is, do you? So a bochet is where you cook the honey and changing some of the chemical facets of the honey, the chemical compositions of the honey, and make it into some darker, richer, more bourbony kind of sugars and flavors that you can pull out of the honey, but it is not as fermentable. The sugars become less fermentable or not fermentable at all. So now we're gonna test and see what our OG is. And everything here, again, has been sanitized, so I just want to make sure that everyone knows. You know, I asked you to move that thing, and I put that right in the way. That was just dumb of me. Thank you. You're awesome. So we're, like I said, testing the original gravity. Whew, this thing's going to be high. That cannot be right. This says that this thing is 1.125. Whoa. That is some serious high gravity meat. Well, you know what? It's just the way it's going to be. This is exactly the way I made it last time. I just didn't put in quite as much fruit. Maybe my thing was off a little bit last time, but so we're going to pause here because the dog needs to go out. So we're just going to take a moment, going to let the dog go out, and then we'll come. 1.125. That is crazy, ridiculous amount high, you know, as far as gravity goes. I don't normally make them that high. Normally about 1.1 is about the highest I go. Sometimes 1.11. Last time this was 1.11, and it went to like, it went dry, but it still had a little bit of sugar in it. I think it was like 1.0 that it went to, but we'll see. Now, why am I pouring this back in here? This has been sanitized. I don't want to waste the liquid. It'll decrease my volume a little bit, so I'm leaving it alone. Now, all we need to do is, we got to put the yeast and the yeast holes in. You're about to let me make a mistake. A horrible, horrible, terrible, no good mistake. Just want to make sure this is sanitized. All right, so now what we need to do is put the yeast holes in. I'm just going to re-sanitize this real quick and then get the liquid out, just to make sure there's, you know, nothing that got on there that wasn't supposed to get on. Two of those teaspoons, so that's 2 teaspoons of yeast holes that we're putting in here. And then while she's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and cut this open and put half a packet of the Lalvin EC118 in here. Now, I already knew this was going to be kind of a high gravity mead, and when I put BM 4x4 in it last time. So I'm putting about half a packet. It doesn't have to be exactly half, but I'm putting about half a packet of yeast in here to make sure that everything has what it needs to be able to do it. And we're going to stir it in. So yeast holes, yeast, and then all the other nutrients that are down there. I expect this to be a very vigorous fermentation. So now we can write up the label for this. Yeah. So this is today's date, and it is, so we put today's date, which is the 7th, and then we are going to put fruit punch, mead,
P-U-N-C-H.
Yep. M-E-A-D. Fruit punch mead. All right, I'm just stirring the stuff up so that we make sure that the yeast holes get distributed well throughout here. They tend to clump up just a little bit. I don't want to get them off the paddle. All right. And I'm going to make sure that we get this lid on and then wipe down the top a little bit.
That's it?
And that's it. That's it. That's well, we gotta put the gravity reading on here and everything, but after.
And this one? The same one?
Nah, we'll do it on a separate one. We started doing that a little bit ago, and that's worked out really well. So we're gonna wipe this off, make sure it's dry, put that right here on the top of the lid, because that worked out really well last time.
It's a little wet.
Might be a little wet, yeah. Hear the wife in the background. It's a little wet. We'll give it a moment, and then we'll try again. But we're gonna put our, oh no, I sucked that down in there. Got a little bit of sanitizer liquid down the top. They won't hurt anything, but that created some back pressure for sure. I'm gonna spray a little bit more sanitizer down in. Make sure that we have some in there. Casella's going to put the label on, and then we're going to put the amount of ABV that's on there. So we'll drop that in, and we'll be done. So thank you so much for watching. This has been the Accidental Brewer. We have a Patreon and a Twitter. Feel free to catch us on there, and we'll see you next time.